Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Organized Chaos. I hope everybody is having a really good Tuesday. I literally was on here Saturday and I didn't think I was coming back until Saturday. And I had said that I was not doing another We All Deserve to Be Remembered until the Black History Month had ended. And I saw the names on my screen on YouTube. I saw it some more today. I started looking at it and I knew I had to do a We All Deserve to Be Remembered about Amir Locke. And so here we are. Before we get started, I would like to ask, if you have not subscribed, please do so. It's free 99. Please like the video. I would appreciate that. I would like to thank all of my new subscribers, and I am on the road to 500. My goal is 500 by 50. I'll be 50 very soon, and I'd like to get to 500 subbies by then. So those are my goals for my channel right now. I would also like to shout out my friend Foxy and family. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so. One of the most positive spaces on YouTube that I know. My big sis in these YouTube virtual streets, Saki Speaks. I see you are a family is one of my mods, and so is Bikini Body Challenge. Hey, BJ Diaz, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And hey, Dana, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, guys. This one is deep and this one is heavy. I'm going to get right into it. I haven't talked about it. I looked at the news articles. All of the articles that I'm using for the day is linked in the description. And let's get into it. Just because I was about to start talking about it with somebody right before I went on, and I got really emotional. And I'm like, I got to save the emotionals because I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm going to wait till I go live. Hey, I see you are a family. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. All right, y'all. I got to take a deep breath. If you would like to take a deep breath with me, you might really want to. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. All right. I'm going to add the Google slide to the screen. So this is in memory of Amir Locke. I couldn't find a birthday for Amir. I know he was 22 years old, and his life ended on February the 2nd, 2022. Whew, okay. Hey, Evo. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Dana's giving love to ICUR family. All right, you guys. This is so difficult for me, I think, today. Because if you were tuned in on Saturday when I did my drinking journal, between the world and me, I dedicated it to my son. Amir is somebody's son. Amir is only 5 years in age difference from my son. And that book it brings up all of the love, the emotions, even the like everything you've poured into your children, everything you've poured into your son, everything you've poured into your Black son. It's gone in 22 years. That's hard. That's hard, y'all. Okay, I can do this. Whew. Yeah, this is hard. It's very recent. Like last week recent. Like take my breath away kind of recent. Hey sis. Hey Bexius. How are you? Let me go. If y'all have not gotten your dose, we've had 3 doses of SFS medication from Big Sis Saki Speaks. If you've not gotten your doses, they're really small, bite-sized, little, doses of, you know, avoid the FS. You should go over to my Big Sis's channel. I needed that. I needed that little levity right there. You should go over there, serious business over there, and get your dosage so you can be up to date. All right, Dana is giving love to Evil and Bikini and Saki. All right, you guys, let's get started. So, Amir is 22 years old. Okay. So I'm going to do two news articles, and then I'm going to have a reference to a third at the end. I'm not going to get into the third, and I'll tell you why, but there is an update like within the last few hours. There was a recent update, but we'll get there at the very end. So this first news article is from the Daily Mail. The author of the article is Andrea Cavalier, and this was written on February the 6th, just 2 days ago. More than 1,000 people marched in Minneapolis following the fatal shooting of Amir Locke during police no-knock warrant. No-knock warrants are still a thing. Governor activates the National Guard as trial of 3 officers for George Floyd's death also nears. So we are in Minneapolis. They are using no-knock warrants, and they are also dealing with the George Floyd death and the trial and all of the things and the emotions surrounding all of that. All of that is going on. There's a no-knock warrant issued, and a 22-year-old young man is no longer with us. Hundreds of people marched outside the Hennepin County Government Center in Minneapolis on Saturday. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz activated the Minnesota National Guard earlier in the week as the federal trial of 3 former officers nears end in St. Paul. There is a problem in Minneapolis. There is a problem in Minnesota. There is a problem. Order also allows the National Guard members to assist police in Minneapolis following the shooting of Amir during marches this weekend. Amir Locke, was seen wrapped in a blanket on a couch when officers entered the apartment and displayed a handgun as they shouted at him to show his hands. The footage was released after more than 36 hours of unanswered questions and calls for transparency over the shooting. Minnesota Police Department said Locke pointed a loaded gun in the direction of the officers. On Friday, Locke's parents, Andre Locke and Karen Wells, said their son was executed by a Minneapolis SWAT team that woke him from a deep sleep. Locke's father, Andre, spoke to a crowd Saturday. This is not easy to have to bury your son. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to show you guys a video from CNN News. I'm going to just verbally tell you, and maybe I should put a banner up before I show the video. Yeah, let's create a banner. All right, let's add the banner. This is a trigger warning. There's no violence per se in the video, but what you will see in the video will disturb you. It is very disturbing. I have to grab my speaker for y'all. All right, let's go.
Newly released body cam video shows Minneapolis police executing an apparent no-knock search warrant and fatally shooting a black man inside an apartment 2 days ago. Tragically, the victim was not a target of the raid. That's according to his attorney.
A no-knock warrant, that means the officers were able to stick a key in the door. And the person that they shot was not who they were looking for. I don't think that really should matter if it was who they were looking for, but let's continue.
We should warn you, this video is disturbing. All right, we're going to have much more on this coming up. Omar Jimenez has been covering.
I'm going to take a break. Okay, we're on a break. Hey, everybody. I can do this. I can do this. Let's continue.
Bring the story. He's got some new information for us on that.
Yeah, and raising a lot of questions too about these no-knock warrants, right? We saw that play in the death of Breonna Taylor, and now this is raising questions as well. I do want to get now to Omar. We've been able to bring him in. Omar?
Yep. So John and Breonna, basically this happened in the early Wednesday morning hours, and the Minneapolis Police Department, they were executing a warrant for a homicide investigation tied to nearby St. Paul. But now the attorneys for the man, later identified as Amir Locke, tell us that he wasn't the target of the investigation, and the Minneapolis.
Even if he was the target of the investigation, even if he was, Evil said that was only Louisville that said they weren't doing those. Minnesota never made that promise. That's the problem. Why do these still exist? Why do they still exist anywhere? Okay.
Minneapolis Police Department says his name never appeared on any of the search warrants. Now, regardless, Minneapolis police burst through this apartment and they appear to wake Locke up, who is seen in blankets, and a gun is seen. And it is in those moments that you hear gunshots ring out from officers. Take a listen.
If you come into somebody's house and you don't knock at the door, most people who have a gun will pick the gun up. Yeah.
To the interim police chief as she begins to try to explain the mentality in those moments.
You're forced to make a split-second decision about when it's a threat.
No, do not. Okay, I'm not a threat. I don't have a gun. Okay, don't treat me like I'm a threat. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. You all had no business agreeing to carry out a warrant, and now you're claiming that's part of their investigation. You don't know. Well, why the did you all sign up to do this in the first place?
Now, a spokesperson for the St. Paul Police Department did tell us that the investigation where this warrant stemmed from, that again, Locke was not named in, is still an active one at this point. We know later this morning, the family attorneys, Benjamin Crump and Jeff Storms, are expected to hold a press conference where we're going to hear.
Ben Crump is on this one, y'all. Y'all already know.
From the family. And as for the Officer Henneman, Mark Henneman, has been placed on routine administrative leave as part of what we now know is an all too familiar department policy. John and Breonna.
An all too familiar department policy. Why? I don't understand that. Evil says, because these citizens either don't vote when it matters or let these moguls start in their positions. I'm gonna keep. I like moguls. Let's keep moguls, Evil. I'm not trying to laugh, but I am. I am so upset. I am so hurt for this boy's family. Yeah, that part. Just, go home, sit and chill. Pay. We'll pay you. BJ Dez is giving love. So he gets to sit at home and get paid. Yes. After just walking in, taking a life, just go home and sit down. Take a break. Hey, McClurk. Hey, boo. How are you? Fire their arses and make them fight to get their job back. It's like they get yeah, it's the system. Like this, we always talk about the systems when we talk about these, remembering each, like these, the, okay, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's finish. Let's keep going. Okay. Hundreds of people filled the streets of downtown Minneapolis on Saturday to demand justice for Amir Locke after body cam footage released by the Minneapolis Police Department showed an officer shoot and kill Locke during a no-knock warrant earlier this week. Let me put that comment there so I won't forget. More than 1,000 protesters who gathered outside the Hennepin County Government Center around 3 p.m. also called for the resignation of Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Officer Mark Hannerman. Hannerman, who was named in public records as the officer who shot Locke, was hired by the department in 2015. BJ Dare says, that is so crazy. I can't believe this ish. Giving love to McClurk. McClurk is giving love back. Yes. Let's keep going. No officer goes into a dangerous setting like this wanting to use a weapon, the Police Officers Federation of Minneapolis said in a statement Saturday. That decision was not taken lightly, and the impact of the use of deadly force will affect these officers, their families, and the family of Mr. Locke for the rest of their lives. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People said the police's practices called for the immediate termination of Hannerman. I agree. A life was taken, which demands transparency, but perhaps more importantly, accountability, the association said Saturday. On Friday, the National Guard was activated in the state of Minnesota in order to help the Twin Cities in case of any civil unrest following the death of Locke in Minneapolis and the ongoing federal trial in St. Paul involving 3 officers in the George Floyd's death. Locke, 22, was fatally shot by a Minneapolis police officer on Wednesday as cops executed a no-knock search warrant. Locke's father, Andre, spoke to a crowd Saturday. This is not easy to have to bury your son, according to video posted to Twitter. He said Locke's mother was so overwhelmed with grief, disbelief, sorrow, everything that you could imagine that a mother feels when she loses her baby. Yeah. Prosecutors also called for Hannerman, the officer who shot Locke, to be prosecuted. Now I'm angry. Like I just moved from sad, confused. I'm very angry right now. I'm very, very, like I feel angry. And I feel it from a really deep place within me. Like that's my son. I am very upset. Yeah. In that order, Evil. It doesn't even exist. Obviously, like you issue a no-knock warrant, a citizen has the right to defend themselves. What do you do in that situation? They've never been trained for that, obviously. You shoot to kill. Anytime you think you're scared. Woo. The city of St. Paul had also requested help in advance of a verdict against 3 former officers for allegedly violating George Floyd's civil rights. The federal trial of the former MPD officers J. Alexander Koenig, Thomas Lane, and Tao Thao will enter its third week on Monday in St. Paul. The 3 face federal civil rights charges stemming from their involvement in Floyd's 2020 death. Floyd is among several Black men to die in confrontations with Minneapolis police in recent years, and his death spurred widespread protests and drive to remake the department. Yes, yes, McClure, yes to the family. They don't care about preserving Black lives. They only care about preserving the lives of others. On Thursday, the mayor of Minneapolis released body camera footage showing the police shoot and kill Locke, who was curled up on his couch. The 54-second clip shows a SWAT officer use a key to enter. Use a key to enter. Can you imagine somebody using a key to enter your house? Can you imagine being over your friend's house and somebody uses a key to enter their house? They used the key to enter the apartment, followed by at least 4 others in uniform and protective vests, time stamped at about 6:48 a.m. As they entered, they repeatedly shouted, "Police, search warrant." They also shout, "Hands," and "Get on the ground." The video shows an officer, a sectional sofa, and Locke begins to emerge from under a blanket holding a pistol. 3 shots are heard and the video ends. The city also included a still from the video showing Locke holding the gun. His trigger finger laid aside the barrel. The top of Locke's head is barely visible because he was asleep. He was startled. He don't even know who in there for real. You don't think people who want to rob and steal from you can shout police when they enter your premises unexpectedly? Are you kidding me? I cannot. I cannot. The footage was released after more than 36 hours of unanswered questions and calls for transparency over the shooting. The Minneapolis Police Department said in a statement Wednesday that Locke pointed a loaded gun in the direction of the officers. Okay. Okay. It keeps happening. It won't stop. It's so I did not want to do one of these this month. I wanted to enjoy Black History Month. I just wanted to read a book on Saturdays and review the book and think of pouring love into my Black son and leaving something for him for the future. And here we are. What do they expect for people to do when they rouse them out of their sleep by standing in their home and screaming? Why didn't they instead use their taser? Why are they always shooting? I'm so disgusted. I'm so exhausted. You know, it's just like we live in a constant emotional roller coaster on so many levels in this country, in this world, in this space that we reside in. We got to hold our shit together at all times. We got to have a reason for just existing at all times. We got to defend our executions at all times. It's exhausting. We have empathy for people that we don't even know because we see ourselves in them. We see our lives. We see our children. We see our nephews and nieces. We see our grandchildren. We see our future. We worry about this space that we reside in, and it won't stop. It transforms. It has transformed since the beginning of our existence, and it's fucking exhausting. We're allowed to feel. We're allowed to cry. I'm never apologizing for my tears again. I will never sit on my platform and be afraid to show emotions. I'm strong, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted. And I'm not the only one that's exhausted. It's more of us that are tired and exhausted, and we're tired of keeping it together. We're tired of holding it together. We're tired of getting up here and acting like everything is okay when it's not. This is not okay. This needs to stop. And I don't have answers. I have more questions than answers most days of every week. But this is a problem. We can't even take a break from this because it won't stop happening. All police departments in the United States and Canada need an immediate overhaul. They need a committee to go through all of their officer files and review each officer with urgency, then start chopping. Right, Saki, what happened to using a taser first? Definitely no training, but do they really care? We are treated like animals. Our lives do not matter. So we've seen since slavery. They are only ever by the book when they are using situations as an example. But if you do that mess to them, putting them in the same situation, they will respond in the same doggone manner, period. It's okay for them to have a Second Amendment right. It's okay for them to protect themselves by any means necessary. It's okay for them to walk down the street and brandish the weapons. All of that stuff is okay. Why don't they reach for the taser first? They pointed loaded guns at him as well, and he was asleep. Not sleep. He was that wrap yourself in a cocoon, tucked in tight in a ball kind of sleep under the cover. But he was aware enough to have a gun next to him. He was prepared to protect himself, but he was still asleep. And he had the right to protect himself where he was sleep, deep sleep. That's just like with Breonna Taylor. The MFs they were supposedly after was already in custody. Also, what is the point of body cameras when they take it off to demise us any way they please and or postpone you seeing it because they are creating a false narrative and a false report? Whatever they initially said happened, 36 hours later, once the body cam footage was released, that whole story fell apart. The whole story fell apart. McClurg, Saki says McClurg. Oh, they do. Just when it is someone that is melanin deficient. They do it all the time. They knew the person they were looking for was black, and that's why they shot. And that's why they gonna paste the headlines with this new update to the story. Yes, please support Organized Chaos, the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. I need that song. We need to hear her to record that for everybody. Saki, this is so sad. It is so sad. Police are supposed to be for the people. No, well, no, they're not. McClurg, you're absolutely right. And I'm over them looking at us as less than, like notches or kills on their belts. I'm over it. When we start hitting their pockets, we have to hit their pockets. We have to be engaged. We have to vote. We got to know who we're voting for, from the Board of Education all the way up to the political office in your city, in your state, national government as well. We have to be involved in civics. The kids that talk about is boring, I try to bring that alive for them because so many of us have no idea who anybody is unless it's the president, maybe every 4 years. It's some people who don't even know who the president is. It starts locally, though. It starts locally. Oh, they would have. I believe they would have tried to manipulate the footage if they could have. They already tried to spin the narrative. When the lawsuits are paid by their bonds instead of by taxpayers and they're fired and prevented from being officers anywhere, we will see a sharp decline. I agree. I agree. It needs change. The laws need to change. Accountability needs to change. Hey, Kara Melanated, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. They are for their people, but police, child. Do you know some places don't even have residency rules? Like you don't even have to live in the community to be a police officer in the community. How sway? How sway? How do you not need to have relationships to the people that you are kind of overseeing? Right? Make that make sense. Then always the victim shaming afterwards, talking about the person's criminal history or whatever, taking a picture of them pulling out a weapon because they were knocked out under their covers trying to protect themselves. You know, propaganda like that. As if that matters, doesn't negate the fact that they just shot a person and ended their life. Period. Period. All right, let's keep going. I'm okay now. I can focus. An incident report said he had 2 wounds in the chest and 1 in the right wrist. On Friday, Locke's parents said their son was executed by a Minneapolis SWAT team that woke him up from a deep sleep and that he reached in confusion for a legal firearm to protect himself. Andre Locke and Karen Wells described him as respectful including to police, and said some of their relatives work in law enforcement. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who said Locke's family was just flabbergasted at the fact that Amir was killed in this way and disgusted at how the Wednesday morning raid was conducted. As they should be. This is horrific. He was asleep. He had a legal firearm to protect himself. They said he was law-abiding with no criminal record and had a permit to carry a gun. They didn't even give him a chance, Crump said, adding that it was shocking that Minneapolis police had not learned from the death of Breonna Taylor, who was killed in a botched raid at her home in Louisville, Kentucky in 2020, leading to calls for an end to no-knock warrants nationwide. Interim Chief Amelia Huffman confirmed in a news conference after the video was released that Locke isn't named in the warrants. She said it isn't clear how or whether Locke is connected to the homicide investigation. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Which she said is under the control of the St. Paul Police Department. That's why that lady in the video went off on her. Like, girl, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. She said that the city had both knock and no-knock warrants. What? Saki says, Carol, thank you so much for doing that and then coming here to support our good sis. Yes, thank you. I just heard about this story this afternoon. I've seen it like the past 2 days, and I was really trying not to do one of these this month. And I couldn't let it go. All day I was like, you gotta go. You gotta do it. Let's keep going. Mayor Jacob Frey said the video raises as many Mayor Jacob Frey said the video raises as many questions as it does answers. You think? And said the city was pursuing answers as quickly as possible and in transparent fashion through investigations, including one by the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. The officer who shot Locke was identified as Mark Hanneman, who was hired by the department in 2015. Records released by the city showed 3 complaints, all closed without discipline, but gave no details. Data on the website of the citizen group Communities United Against Police Brutality showed a 4th complaint in 2018 that remains open. No details were given. McClure says, I'm white and have not had many, if any, good exchange with police as a DV victim. I cannot begin to imagine how the Black and Indigenous Canada police communities have had to live with police. I'm guessing police brutality. Live with this from police, I'm thinking, McClure. Caramelinator says, I go to sites that I enjoy only. I support. Aw, thank you, Caramelinated. That's so sweet. I needed that little smile. I appreciate you so much. Love and prayers to all. Yes, McClure. Yes. All right, let's keep going. Following Wednesday's incident, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey imposed an immediate moratorium on the request and execution of no-knock warrants in the city. This moratorium makes an exception for instances where there is an imminent threat of harm to an individual or the public. Frey's office stated Friday. So you can just have another, like, it's still a way around. You can still get a no-knock warrant. Like, you can have an excuse, basically. You just need an excuse now. Okay. U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar, who represents Minneapolis, called Locke's death a murder and criticized local police and officials for their handling of the incident. Amir had barely opened his eyes when he was executed by a Minneapolis police officer, Omar tweeted Friday, blaming his death on the violent, unchecked, and unreformed behavior of our city's police. The killing is the latest that has angered activists angry as they question the credibility of a department that was widely criticized for its initial portrayal of George Floyd's death. Amir Locke, 22, was shot just before 7 a.m. Wednesday when officers quietly entered a downtown apartment with a key, then loudly announced their presence, kicked a sofa where Locke had been under a comforter. Remember, he's in the cocoon type sleep, wrapped up tight, like swaddled. Then shot him when he showed a gun, all in the span of a few seconds. Activists were angered at a police department statement that evening that called Locke a suspect. Y'all. Hello. Hello. So this was their initial attempt at justifying this boy's death. He was a suspect. So if he was a suspect, it was okay to kill him? Really? Oh, okay. Okay, sis. Even though police later said a search warrant didn't name Locke as such, they questioned the same statement for saying the gun was pointed in the direction of officers when police body camera video was less than clear. They denounced police for releasing photos of a gun and bullets, calling that a character assassination of Locke, who they said had a license for the gun. I called it propaganda because that's exactly what the fuck it is. It's propaganda. That picture of him is propaganda. Okay. I'm going to calm down. Let's go to the chat. Please, thank you. All right, let me see. I left off with, oh, hey. Okay, wait. I saw Kira Melaneda giving love to McClurk, police brutality. Hey, Junebug. It's okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hey, her. Oh, wait, I can do this. Wait, this will help me calm myself down before I get to going. I put all my other people in here. Let me put her in here too, you guys. If you have not subscribed to my sis, her, please subscribe to her. All right, everybody's giving love, and he should be charged and convicted! Exclamation and the point. He never stood a chance against them because they were going to kill whoever they saw first. Nobody stood a chance. That baby was 7 years younger than my baby. He's only 5 years older than mine, and I am crushed for his family. Crushed for his family. I'm appalled and heartbroken. Even if he was a suspect, that's all I'm saying. Even if he was a suspect, he should not be dead. Period. They were going to kill whoever. They were going to kill the suspect at the end of the day. This is why parents are so afraid of their black sons. Absolutely. Absolutely. At the end of every day. At the end of every day. Okay. The comments always help to calm me down. These are very difficult. Here her is giving love to everybody. You guys subscribe to my sis. All right. Wait, where we at? Saki says, Hanneman should be charged and convicted. I feel like they poisoned any jury pool via character assassination because folks will only remember what they saw on TV and they never show the truth. Yeah. And then on this update, they're going to try to justify what they did. Let's keep going. Let's keep focused. Stay focused. And they highlighted an officer kicking the couch just seconds after entry, which they said likely awoke a deep sleeping Locke to a confusing assault from men with guns. His parents, Andre Locke and Karen Wells, called it an execution because that's what it absolutely was, an execution. The department took similar criticism for its initial representation of Floyd's death on May the 25th, 2020. 2020, 2022. In 2 years, they still raggedy as fuck. They still killing us. When its first statement said Floyd died after a medical incident during a police interaction. Liar, liar, pants on fucking fire. Bystander video quickly told another story. Floyd died while face down in handcuffs with a police officer's knee on his neck, and a spokesman said that the first report relied on a briefing from supervisors who weren't on the scene. The fuck? What? After the body camera video showing the Locke shooting was released Thursday night, activists angrily confronted Mayor Jacob Frey and interim police chief Amelia Huffman at a news conference. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up, said Nikema Levy Armstrong, a prominent civil rights attorney whom Frey appointed last year to a community safety work group. This is unacceptable. On Friday, Locke's aunt, Linda Tyler, attacked parts of the initial police statement. He didn't point the gun, she told reporters in a news conference at City Hall. So change the narrative. You guys need to get the story right. You will not smear my nephew's name. Locke's uncle, Andrew Tyler, said officers clearly startled Locke awake when they kicked the couch. You can't kick nothing under me and then expect me to act right, Tyler said. What are you looking for? You're looking to incite someone. You're looking for a reaction. Not only are you looking for a reaction, you're looking for time to kill. That's what he did. Exactly. I don't know if y'all need to take a deep breath, but I do. You can take one with me if you need to. This is horrific. All they do is lie. I can't imagine the pain that Amir's family is feeling right now. I hate that these officers are this way. They take every precaution to preserve white life, but not black life. Like, how do you, he did not stand a chance to come through this alive. Not all cops are bad, but it only takes one to smear the name of cops with integrity. The cover up. So something happened terrible, and your initial response is to cover it up. That's the problem. It's a problem that this happened in the first place. But then you just open the wound and you pour salt and vinegar and alcohol in the wound, and then you cover it up. and try to make people think we crazy because we mad, because we get emotional, because we talk about race out here, because we care about Black lives out here. They weren't looking for time to kill, because any interaction with them is time to kill. They were looking for a reason to kill. That's why they have propaganda. That's why they took a still picture of that boy defending himself, attempting to defend himself, attempting to legally defend himself, and posted it. There is a huge difference. They have a bloodthirst, Black blood. That's the problem. They choose to ignore it. White people turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to this type of stuff. They don't care about this family. They didn't care about him. They didn't even bother to see who emerged from beneath the cover. Just from what I have heard, some officers think they are doing a service to society and fellow cops if one child. How do you ignore life? How is it okay to kill someone's child? How do you kill Black people with no remorse? It has gone on for so long. It's exhausting. There is so much trauma that we have endured. We don't talk about the legacy of the trauma that we have endured and how we've learned to function in this traumatic society that we reside in. We don't get to unpack that because we got to compete. We got to work 3 times harder to get half of what everybody else get. We got to be strong. We got to be all that and then some to prove ourselves out here. And our trauma just keeps getting trampled on. It keeps getting put in our face. It keeps getting ignored. We keep getting gaslighted. They didn't bother to knock. They should have knocked. If you knew you could get a key, then just have the maintenance man knock on the door to gain access. That way you save a life. They could have knocked first. Let somebody come to the door because they have to walk to the door awake. They intended. And they said in the beginning they had a knock and a no knock. So they had a choice. 22 playing with people's intelligence. We know how they feel about us. Shoot first and then find an excuse and a reason to have shot first. They think we're stupid enough to believe the mess that they show us on TV. The only people looking for the truth on TV are old people. We are not taking this mess lying down anymore. We must end it now. We can't, at least we can expose each other to what's happening in our face. In our face. We are living this history. This isn't even written in a book yet. We are living it right now. Let's keep going. Tyler also dismissed the warnings, saying they were already effectively inside the apartment when they shouted out. It's a lie, he said. It's a lie from the get-go. Late Friday. Oh, I already read this one. I'm sorry, y'all. I think I read this one. Did I read this one, child? I don't know. I feel like I read this one already. Let me go back up here. Mistrust with the police department. Oh, no, I didn't read this one. I did not read this one. Okay, let me start here. Tyler also dismissed the police warnings, saying they were already effectively inside the apartment when they shouted out. It's a lie, he said. It's a lie from the get-go. Late Friday, Frey announced an immediate moratorium on no-knock warrants, as well as a plan to consult with national experts to review the department's policy. Oh, that's where I got stuck at. I got stuck and okay, I'm back. I'm focused. Mistrust within the Black community of the police department goes back well beyond Floyd's death. The unrest that followed the police killing of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014 fueled the growth of the Black Lives Matter movement, which was behind protests that followed the 2015 police killing of Jamar Clark, including an 18-day siege at the police station on the heavily Black north side of Minneapolis. Other police killings of Black men followed in Minnesota, including the deaths of Philando Castile in 2016 and Dante Wright last year. Again, more and more and more and more. It's never ending. All right, so that's the end of the Daily Mail article. Let's do the chats and then we'll continue on. I think I left off with Saki's. I think I read that one and I went through those. He would be no less deceased if they told the truth. But the fact that they lied, well, that's just an additional slap in the freaking face. Listen, you just keep making it worse and worse. Hear her says, when our people were strung out on crack, they locked us up and took our children. And that's the crack that they put into our neighborhoods. That's a whole nother setup to fail from the beginning. Situationship. Flooded our neighborhoods with them drugs, with that poison. When they are strung out, they have Narcan in every hospital. Oh, the opioids of it all. That's an addiction. That's different. Ambulance, Ma, and put them in rehab while we're prisoned. Girl, we got so many marijuana, Mary Jane stores, and so many of our people are still locked up behind that foolishness. Still. The systems. BJ Dez says, when our sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins are killed due to police brutalities, it affects us all. It is traumatic. It is traumatic. Still, today. Okay. Let's get back into it. We got another story. I want my people to get out and girl. Listen. Vote. I'm going to do something about voting. I don't know what, but this voting, this is systematic with our community. I know Detroit has a serious problem with voting. And it's like that, I'm sure, in a lot of communities that have the same makeup as Detroit. I want to do something. This is important. Voting matters on the lowest level to the highest level, not just some elections, every election, every proposal, every mayor, every governor, every city council, every school board. That stuff matters. Your politicians, a lot of them are bred in school boards. A lot of politicians, not all, but some politicians get their feet wet by being members of school boards, y'all. Look at your school boards. Look at the makeup of your city council. Those are your future politicians in your community and beyond. Look at them. Get to know them. Know who these people are. Know what their political agendas are. See if there is alignment with what you believe in and what they believe in. Do they want to see changes happen in your communities? Do they want to see changes happen for people of color? If that is important to you, vote. That is the strongest weapon you have. You have your vote and you have your voice. Use your voice with however you feel comfortable using your voice. Use your voice and vote. They work hand in hand. Take action. All right, let's continue. Many people only vote during the primary elections, but we need to start with our districts. Get to know who our officials are. It is needed. We can't complain and not make a change in ourselves. All right, this next article is from WSB Radio. This was written on February the 4th by Doug Glass. Amir Locke shooting rekindles the mistrust of the Minneapolis police. Minneapolis AP. The killing of a black man by Minneapolis police serving a search warrant left his family and activists angry and questioning the credibility of a department that was widely criticized for its initial portrayal of George Floyd's death. Amir Locke, 22, was shot just before 7 a.m. Wednesday after officers quietly entered a downtown apartment with a key, then loudly announced their presence, kicked a sofa where Locke had been under a comforter, then shot him when he showed a gun, all in the span of a few seconds. Activists were angered at a police department statement that evening that called Locke a suspect, even though police later said a search warrant didn't name Locke as such. They questioned the same statement for saying the gun was pointed in the direction of officers, when police body camera video was less than clear. They denounced police for releasing photos of a gun and bullets, calling that a character assassination of Locke, who they said had a license for the gun. And they highlighted an officer kicking the couch just seconds after entry, which they said likely awoke a deep sleeping Locke into a confusing assault from men with guns. His parents, Andre Locke and Karen Wells, called it an execution. The department took similar criticism for its initial representation of Floyd's death on May 25th, when its first statement said Floyd died under a medical incident during police interaction. And we already read that about the bystander video. After the body camera video showing the Locke shooting was released Thursday night, activists angrily confronted Mayor Jacob Frey and interim police chief Amelia Huffman at a news conference. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. So we've already read that from Nakima Levy Armstrong. On Friday, Locke's aunt, Linda Tyler, attacked parts of the initial police statement. He didn't point the gun, she told reporters in a news conference at City Hall, so change the narrative. You guys need to get the story right. You will not smear my nephew's name. Locke's uncle, Andrew Tyler, said officers clearly startled Locke awake when they kicked the couch. You can't kick nothing under me, so we've already read that statement as well. Tyler also dismissed the police warning, saying they were already effectively inside the apartment. It's a lie, he said. Late Friday, Frey announced an immediate moratorium, so we've already read that. Let me get to the chat, and then I think we got one more on here, and then we're going to get to the end. So we're almost at the end. Mistrust within the Black community of the police department goes back well beyond Floyd's death. We already read that. And then we know about the other police killings, Philando Castile and Dante Wright. All right, so we are probably, I think we're here. We read that one from BJ Dez. Psyche says, adhere her and BJ Dez. Facts. We have to start at the lowest level, not just with the presidential elections. That mess doesn't even trickle down anymore. Facts. Choose a politician who is for change for the people and not what the wealthy need. BJ Dad says, I get upset when my fellow brothers and sisters tell me that voting will not help. That's the mindset that I can't understand. Yet you want change. Make it make sense. We have to vote. We can't just trickle in our votes sporadically. We have to vote in mass, and we shouldn't have to beg each other to vote. That's the thing that really is discouraging, that you have to beg people to vote. I don't understand that mindset that my vote doesn't matter. I don't understand. That's what they want you to believe, that your vote doesn't matter, because if your vote doesn't matter, you won't vote, and your issues then won't matter. Your vote is your voice at the bare minimum. Everybody doesn't have a microphone to speak into. Everybody doesn't walk in protests. Everybody doesn't do some of the activism things that other people do. The bare minimum price you can pay to be a citizen, a productive citizen in society, in my opinion, is to vote. Voting is bigger than paying taxes, and you are forced to pay taxes. So you pay taxes to a government that you won't even have a voice in? What? I'm confusion. McClurg, exactly. You have to make sure that you get to know the people that you're voting for. Half of these folks on YouTube ain't even voted for what's for dinner, let alone an actual election. Caramelinator says, BJ dares to say why vote when your vote doesn't count is an insult to our ancestors who gave their lives for us to vote. It isn't, it's like curse words. Like you cursing at your ancestors because you won't vote. How dare you be disrespectful, I'm sorry, and not vote? They died for you to vote. It doesn't matter how you vote. Just vote. Exercise your right to vote so that what you care about matters to other people. That's how the world works. See how that works? Girl. And we crying over our babies out here, and you not voting? Saki says, caramelinated indeed. We do a disservice when making utterances like that because our ancestors literally flip in their blood-soaked graves from sheer frustration with how we are out here moving in these streets. Clark says, my veteran uncle from World War II always said voting is how you keep a Hitler away. Facts. Yes, y'all can come down. Y'all can come into the chat, hit the like, subscribe, share. We need Hear Her with the song. Hit the cash app. Hit the cash. Yes, McClurg, you did have a smart uncle. Yeah, well, Lovey, it's kind of hard to know who to vote for. But with that being said, you still have to vote. Yeah, like sometimes it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other, right? But you still got to vote. You just do. You just got to vote. Yes, so brilliant. I was fortunate. Yes, you were. Because everybody doesn't teach their children to vote. Everybody doesn't actively show their children when they vote. Everybody doesn't actively talk about politics with their children. Everybody doesn't actively. I feel like all Black people have the Black conversation, especially with their Black boys. I have some very difficult conversations with my Black son who is driving a car in the suburbs. It is a very difficult conversation to continuously have to have with my baby. But it is a conversation that I am forced to have with my baby. With my baby. When my baby turns 22, my baby should still exist. Period. Unless he has health concerns or something else. My baby should not be asleep under the covers and not exist anymore. Period. Period. These young folks nowadays are on the ball with it. Maybe not all of them, but many of them. Oh, wait, I missed something from McClurg. Saki, same experiences here in Canada. Can't wait till younger people realize they can run for these positions. Got you. Yep, absolutely. We people need to get our priorities straight. It starts with us, right? For me, at least, I'm part of the older generation, and again, part of my platform is to speak to these things just from a genuine place of, while I exist in this space, this is important to me. This needs a voice. And if my voice reaches a small number, a medium number, a large number, one is more than none. Houston bread. I had to say that, y'all. I'm sorry, HB. You got one. You got one. Okay. Okay. I needed that. Y'all know I need a little. I got to smile a little bit. Saki up. The youth are coming. Yes, they are. They're listening too. Some of them are finding us. Some of them know that we care about them and that we are not judging them and that we want to help them. And we just need to keep talking. We just need to keep having these conversations. We just need to keep shining light in dark spaces. Okay. This is the update, you guys. So this happened a couple of hours before I started this live. There is an affidavit. Amir Locke's cousin has been arrested in connection to the St. Paul homicide. He was the target of the search when Locke was shot. I did put the link to the article in the description for this. I did not summarize this and put this into my notes because I really don't care. This is not the focus of why I am here talking to you guys today. I'm focused on Amir's death. I will not get distracted with them wanting to change the narrative and change the subject in order to justify the initial murder. The initial murder has been murdered. Amir does not exist anymore. His parents, his family, his community, other people like us are grieving for the family and for Amir's life being taken too soon. There is no justification for Amir to be gone. If it wasn't Amir on the couch, it could have been somebody else on the couch. It shouldn't matter. Nobody needed to die. Nobody. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm focused on. Nobody needed to die. But Amir is dead. In my opinion, it looks like they intended to terminate whomever they found when they entered those premises. Rest in peace, Amir. Prayers, love, healing to your friends, to your family, to your ancestors. We need justice for Amir Locke. Say his name. Say his name. Saki says, McClurg, they are over this crap now. And many are starting to make strides in the political arena. I can't wait to see what they do. We need to encourage more. Not only vote, get into the arena. Okay, I'm taking notes, y'all, because I'm not gonna let this go. This is another one that's about I'm about to be exhausted and worn out again. You know, I'm gonna disappear for a little bit because this is a lot. But this is important. This isn't so important to me. That's what I said. They intended to terminate whomever was inside that place. That's why they executed the warrant in the manner in which they did. White suspects get treated better every time. Yeah. Now they want to spin the narrative to draw attention away from the killing of a young black man with no criminal record. Absolutely. We can't let them do that. We can't let them do that. It doesn't matter who that warrant was issued for. Nobody should be gone. Nobody should be gone. There is a problem. We have a serious problem. We need to do more. We need to raise our voices. This hurts. This hurts from the inside of my being, and this is not my child. It hurts from a place that sometimes I get so overwhelmed with that I don't even know it exists until it does. It hurts to have this type of trauma brought up inside of you throughout every decade of your life. Every decade of my life. Every decade of your life, your entire existence is based on trauma, and your history is based on trauma and traumatic experiences and unpacking your trauma and living with and dealing through your trauma. Why does the trauma even fucking exist? Can we just stop the source of the trauma? Can we address that? I need it to stop. It needs to stop. It's too much. It's too much. Deflection from their fuck up. They now want the focus to be on the person named in the. Like, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. So that people will focus on that. That's the focus? That's what we doing? That's your justification? They will attempt to sweep this senseless killing under the rug. Yo, it's too much. It's the source for me. It's the source for me. Hey, babe. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Hey, D West, thank you for being here and thank you for listening. I appreciate you so much. You see, anyone dying at the hands of police is a problem, but there is outrage in the community and shame on the department when the person has no record and the police fucked it up. Made them pay. Say his name. Say his name. Amir Locke should be here today. I'm so sick of hashtags. I'm sick of crying. I'm sick of being sad. I'm sick of being scared for my son. As a woman, as a Black woman, I've never been afraid for myself. I understand that that can exist for some Black women. I've never experienced that. I have experienced being afraid for my son. I've never been afraid for my daughter. But I'm scared as hell for my son. I have a brother. He's an older brother. I've never been afraid for him. I didn't understand it. I didn't fully understand it until I had a son. It is, babe. It's tragic. And nothing's changing. It won't stop. It won't stop. You ever just wake up and want it to stop? I just want it to stop. And it's not stopping. Yeah, that's how I feel. It could be my son. It could be his friend. It could be my son's cousin. It could be my nephew. It could have been my brother. It still could be my brother. It could be my daddy. It could be my uncle. It could be my cousin. It can be anybody. It can be any of us at any time. Because there's always an excuse. There's always a reason. And they won't stop. It's not stopping. They are both under 30. I'm always so afraid when he leaves home and he's grown. He's a grown man. Yeah. I'm scared when the hubby leaves too. Yeah. Then the families have no one to hear their cries and give their children the respect they deserved all along, to the point they should be here to live their lives. Yeah, they just automatically see black males as a threat. They will give black women some grace as long as you behave like a good darky. Hmm. Yeah, this is so sad. McClurg says, Saki, organized, and all of you moms with beautiful black sons. Love to you every day and Godspeed to your sons as well. Thank you, McClurg. It's beyond sad. Police brutality is one thing, but the fight we have with each other in our girl, child, BJ Dez. That's a whole nother. Now that one probably wouldn't make me cry. I can cuss and fuss about that one. This one I can cuss and fuss about soon. It's just too soon right now. And it's so raw and it's so fresh and so new. And I feel so bad for these parents and his friends and his family and my own son's situationship. It's just the emotional initially. But it's like it just keeps happening. This cycle of like we don't even get shocked anymore. There's no shock behind this. We know, we just like when's the next thing happening? It's not even that we're numb to it necessarily. I'm not numb. I'm up here crying on camera. I'm not numb at all. I'm very emotional. So when people say we grow numb to this, no, we don't grow numb to this. Some of y'all grow numb to this. I'm not numb to this. I take this to heart. I take this personally because it's not stopping and it's traumatic and there's no answer. How do you stop this? We can't stop it. We got to vote. Nothing else is happening. Nothing else is working. It's working. Whew. Welcome back, Evil. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of these tear-filled YouTube streets today. I'm going to take a break. Yeah, we ain't got that kind of time, Saki. Girl. That's a whole nother psychosis space that I don't even know how to dip my toe into. Child. No, ma'am. All right. Okay. I can do this. We're going to finish this. People speak it about our own kind, fighting against one another, but they rally around the bad guy, starting the war. Listen. Okay, so look. I heard this on was it Cups video I had to watch on replay today? So I heard this story on Cups too, but I heard this story a couple of days ago. I heard it again today, and then when I listened to Cups real early in the morning, I was like, okay, I keep hearing his name. Let me do the story about him today. But something else that happened on Cups Live or whatever her video was, I think it was a live last night. She talked about that lady. Her last name is Black. That is isn't that her name Heidi? Is her name Heidi Black? I think that's her name. I might have it wrong. But she supports some of the things that we do against each other. And she supports white supremacy. And she's a Black woman. And so some of the things that we do to ourselves, I don't understand the thinking behind it. Maybe the long-term thinking, or maybe it's just modern day coonery. Maybe I could say that. Maybe that's a fair statement. Modern day coonery. I'm going to use that terminology. We need to do better. We need to care about each other. And when people don't care about you, just, walk away from them. Don't engage them. They're not worthy of your energy. Be mindful of your energy, people. Be mindful of where you spread your energy. You can spread your energy in these hate-filled YouTube streets, or you can choose to spread your energy in spaces that exist on YouTube that will nurture you, that will grow you. It's nothing wrong with a little touch of petty, but evil and angry and demise of your own people, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Make that make some type of sense. It just doesn't. Do better. Grow up. Yes, they are desensitizing us to Black Death. They're showing it over and over again. Then have the unmitigated gall, dare I say the temerity, to tell us to get over something that keeps happening. Girl. I refuse to be numb to this. Yet we have to figure this one out. I agree. I'm not numb. I'm not. I'm okay with not being numb too. And we all need to be okay with not being numb, not allowing this to just exist and act like this is normal behavior, even though it is. This needs to be stopped. This needs to be course corrected now, sooner than later. It's time for course correction in this. We have enough data. We have enough information. We have enough trauma to make an informed decision about what to do next. Because what we've been doing ain't working. It ain't working for us, and it protects them. They get to be off and get paid. Child. Heidi White. Such an important conversation to have. Thank you, Organized, and everyone in the chat. Yes, thank you for being here, McClurg. I appreciate it. Like the speakeasy will nurture you and help you grow into the beautiful, sexy flower that you are meant to be. It will also help you get rid of your fuck shit. All right, y'all. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to leave with a good laugh at the end just because this was hard. This is draining. It's not over. You already know. I'll be back with an update. We got a couple of updates right now on our plate. So we will definitely be back. I love you. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And I will see you, if not Saturday, maybe before Saturday. Who knows? Because I wasn't supposed to be here today. But I will definitely see you Saturday. And I'll see you on somebody's channel because I'll be all up in the clouds dropping down. Love y'all. Bye.